Thank you, Chioma, for joining us today and going over these questions with me and talking about the leads. And again, thank you
Mhm.
so much for joining us today. My
Thank you
name
for
is
having
Matthew King. Yep, yep. My name is Matthew King with TR King Insurance Marketing. We'll be talking about the lead portal today and kind of your experience working in there.
me.
Um, just give us a little bit of background. How long have you been in insurance and what product is your main focus?
A little over 16 plus years, so December of 2008, so maybe 16 and a half years. Background focus, final expense, Medicare Advantage plan, so health insurance and annuities. My niche product is definitely final expense, but I kind of, bifurcate everything. So during the season AEP season, I'm pretty much writing Medicare Advantage plan, and I see annuity clients maybe twice a month, and I'm always looking to introduce those products when I'm selling final expense. So, yeah,
Okay, awesome. You got quite a repertoire in your
I love
experience
it.
there.
Yeah, I love what I do. I love what I do.
Awesome. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how do you like the final expense real-time leads with our company? I know that that's mainly what you've used so far.
I'm a little biased because I've worked with you guys prior to real time needs for a while.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, 8, 6, 7 years. They were introduced by my upline maybe in 2000 and I don't know, 16, 17, probably gonna go back. The real time leads are different. They're quality leads, I will say that. There are people that are actively looking for final expense leads. Um, just feel like the market is just different. People are more informed, they ask more questions, which you want, but it's sometimes a hit and miss. I would say maybe 20% of them are, people you're going to see and close, 20 to 25%.
Yeah, absolutely. And that seems right in line. You
Mm-hmm.
get people that are just kind of I don't like using the word shopping, but they're just not ready yet.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
need education and advice.
Yeah. And
They
that's
look at
okay too.
themselves later. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay too. What I do like about them is they're real people. They're interested. I usually get a conversation
Mhm.
at different forms of contacting them by phone, by text, by email. And uh, I probably get 60% that respond back or call back or text back. So they're a quality lead. I will say that.
Okay. And are you mainly selling face to face or over the phone? I imagine the
Uh,
phone.
face to face. Over the phone are usually existing clients. But if I've never met you, I'm scheduling an appointment. I'm coming to your home.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll dig into that a little bit more. Uh, talk about like what's your approach and process for working the real time leads? Like when they come in, what are you first doing? What's your process there until you get to that appointment, and then what are you doing there at the appointment and thereafter?
Oh, okay. Well, for any, seasoned vet, the first thing you do is get acclimated with Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. I introduce myself. I let them know how I ascertain the lead. I kind of go over what their expectations or goals are. Some want the rates over the phone, so we discuss rates over the phone sometimes. Some want to schedule to meet with the agent, and then some have a question about the difference in whole and term. So I kind of give a synopsis. I try not to stay on the phone more than 3 to 5 minutes, because the objective is to schedule the appointment. Um, you just get a sense of who they are. I can tell based on how long I've been doing this, who's serious, who's just shopping, who's just looking, who's just wanting someone to talk to. But once they scheduled, before I show up, I already have the rates pretty much locked in. I know exactly the product I'm going to sell. I've already heard rebuttals in my head. I have, their photos, their brochures, everything to handle objections. And I go in and um, we talk. We usually get comfortable with me, and because I'm from the area, and I get comfortable with them, and we delve into what they're looking for. I'm usually sitting with lots of families, so it's never just one person, which is great. And I invite that. And
Yeah,
Watch it.
I like what I'm hearing. You know, you sound like you break down that appointment and or the calling
Hmm.
basically down to just like, look, we're just talking here. There's no
That's
sales
it.
pitch here. There's
A
no,
100%.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
just having a
Well, it can't.
conversation.
100%. It can't be a self pitch. They don't know you, right? So, especially in this economy, no one wants to be sold. Um, Listen, I'm the ages of their daughters, their granddaughters. Most of them think I look like their granddaughters and their daughters. So you have to remember, and maybe I have a different POV because my parents aren't from this country. You have to remember you're sitting with someone's mother, grandmother, daughter, niece, nephew, son, father. And so for me, as a top producer with Premiere, the reason I do so well is because I always remember the spirit of authenticity, respect, trust, right? You're not really selling a product, you're selling yourself. You have to make sure your objective is always, to make sure the client gets what they want, right? And there's transparency. So when you're discussing a product and there's a 2-year waiting period, let's discuss that. Let's not ignore that. If they're going to be graded, let's explain what graded means. This is obviously when you're inside of the appointment. But yeah, I think, actually, I know most of my clients are just very comfortable with me. They run into me in the mall. I've run into some people at, yeah, I mean, I wrote a dental years ago and someone's calling my name in the mall. I'm using that in the mall. It's just my daughter at the time at the mall. And someone's, oh, Chioma, Chioma. And, that feels good. So, for me, this isn't the only way I get leads, by the way. There's so much community engagement I do. But yeah, you want to make sure that you're not leading in like a salesperson because you'll get hung up on.
Yeah, absolutely. And that must feel good having the client go, oh, I see my agent. I see my
Yeah, I
agent.
love it. I love
But
it. I love it.
for, you know, as we are going through leads and things like that, the landscape of leads has changed quite a bit.
Hmm.
And some agents are working real-time leads for the very first time. Um,
Hmm.
would you have any tips that you kind of can think of for those that are working real-time leads for the first time that you
Yeah,
would mind sharing?
it's just like what I said earlier. You have to be authentic. Don't don't be scared. You have to be
Mhm.
pretty confident, right? So if you have jitters, you're uncomfortable, then I would practice quite a bit. Yeah, you have to be your authentic self because people can smell BS a mile away. You want to be warm, you want to be inviting, for me, my cornerstone is product knowledge. You want to have a great um, grasp on the products that you are potentially going to sell, and you want to treat people with respect. So if Miss Johnson can't schedule you in within 48 hours, well, that's okay. Let's discuss why she can't. She has a doctor's appointment. Okay, that makes sense. Let's get her in when she's available, and I'll go one step further. Ask if there's someone you want to sit in with us that makes you comfortable, or do you mind giving my number to your daughter and she can call me, because you want to break down any walls or pretenses they already have about a salesperson coming into their home. So yeah, my advice would be authentic. Um, just off any nerves. Um, and then make sure you corner your product knowledge and master it,
Okay,
because you're
awesome.
going to get lots of questions. So before
Yes,
they even schedule an appointment, they can hear confidence over the phone. If you sound like you're not sure, you're not going to be able to schedule that appointment. So it has nothing to do with the lead. It has everything to do with you.
awesome, awesome. Thank you. And
Yep.
you know, you don't have to have exact numbers and whatnot, but on average, what would you say your closing ratio? I think you shared it a little bit ago, but what would you say like you average for your sales with them?
I mean, if I go and see a client, I'm probably closing 80 to 85%. I think Mutual Omaha has to be about 87, 89% retention. I'm closing 8 out of 10 people I see for a fact.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
And then
But it's
how,
not just your leads. So
yeah, yeah.
I haven't, I mean, you can look at the history. I have a plethora of ways of ascertaining leads. I've been doing it for a long
Mhm.
time. Referrals, senior homes. I'm at so many different. Last weekend was a big block party, health and wellness block party. So again, it's not just
Yeah.
leads.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, most people uh, they need several sources of leads, not
correct.
normally just one.
Well, you have to mention that because people think your leads are it. And I'm like, guys, those are to supplement. You guys have to actually work. You got to work. Leads aren't.
Yeah,
That's one aspect. You got to work. And
got to
so if they don't
network,
do well,
got to become
well,
known in your community. Those
that's
sorts of
right. They don't want to do it. They want to pay
things.
you $500 for leads and hope there's a miracle made. That's just not realistic.
Okay. And I know you say you might be a little bit biased because you've been working with us for a while, but how's your
Mm,
experience been working specifically with
great.
us?
Great. I think before even the real time leads, just quality leads, quality people. You guys pinpoint the areas we want. I'm licensed in 3 states. Um, um, what is the sales rep that I work with? Shame on me. What's the sales rep that I work with? I
Uh,
can't remember.
you work with currently Grace. Uh,
Grace
yeah,
on the
Grace.
fire. She's the one that actually suggested years ago when I would only do Illinois. She's like, Chioma, you don't want to do other counties? I'm like, why? I'm 2 point something million people in Cook County. And because of her, this is being recorded. Grace, I love you. I'm sorry. I had a brain freeze there. Yeah, she's the reason I got licensed in Wisconsin and Indiana, looking at Michigan, maybe the summer next, but just pinpoints the area, quality leads, interested folks. These aren't people who are dilly-dallying. And if you're good at what you do, you're gonna be able to turn that sales lead into a sale. So quality. I wouldn't come back if it wasn't and fair. Let me make sure to
Yeah,
put in that's in the pricing is fair. I think the objective is obviously the business, but the objective is to make sure everyone is tended to. The agents have quality leads, and if you're a serious agent, you're gonna be matched up with prospects that are looking for serious agents and want to sit down and learn the product and hopefully purchase. And then the company's quality, from the scrubbing you guys do, the pinpointing to the professionalism. Grace is someone I really care about personally. So yeah, you guys are
yeah.
amazing.
And
I
then
can't believe it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry, I forgot her name,
you're okay.
and I text
You're
her all the time. Uh,
okay. You're absolutely fine. Um, and then my last question to you is, what would you say to someone that is on the fence? They're like, I'm not quite sure about purchasing leads from us. Like, what would be the thing you would say to them if
I
they
say
asked?
just do it. Just do it. I think it's important to invest in yourself. So whether it's taking leads or whomever, you have to look at it as an investment in yourself. These leads are just to provide you a gateway to invest in yourself, right? I would
Yeah,
say just do it. If you don't have a networking source, if you don't have referrals or book of business and you're just starting, I would say at least 20 to 30 leads and really work the leads and be patient. But I would say just do it. There's no trepidation. Um, Again, the pricing is fair. If you're in a position to do it, just do it and don't even think about it. Purchase them and then work them, and then you can kind of gauge what your next step is. You can't constantly be on the fence in sales because someone else will get the deal in your area, in your neighborhood. So just do it.
Well, again, thank you so much, Chioma, for
Of
joining
course.
us today, sharing your insights and experience,
Of course.
and definitely the tips. I'm sure they'll be helpful as well.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.